Continuing from the previous episode 1595. Kacha Kacha! The hot Buddha's fury fire lotus, with incomparably bright destructive energy ripples, completely exploded in front of Feng Jie, and immediately attacked with Feng Jie's rock attribute Do-Chi defense. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network, Crash. A circle of incomparably hot flame ripples flew around, and once touched, it would all end in ashes. And because Feng Jie is a rock-type powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do Xian, and Huoxin Tianyan has a lot of suppression of rock-type attributes, Feng Jie's situation is also in jeopardy. Cough cough cough. Little chops. This time, I must make your life worse than death. In an instant, a terrifying roar suddenly emerged from the center of the explosion. Tick-tock. After the breath, the energy ripples slowly dissipated. Suddenly, Feng Jie's body, full of holes, stood still in the air, and the whole body was protected by a circle of dark energy. The energy is extremely strange and illusory. If it weren't for the blocking of this power, I am afraid that Feng Jie would have completely fallen under the Buddha's wrath, but even so, this dark energy is facing the collapse of the illusory appearance at this time. Feng Jie would be instantly killed by Xiao Yan. The power of the alien race. I really think highly of you. Xiao Yan's pupils were still blood-red, full of endless anger, looking at Feng Jie, who didn't fall under the wrathful lotus of half-colored Buddha, and said, "It doesn't matter if you are discovered, because this time, you will still fall here completely." Feng Jie roared with evil black energy in a weak state. Death. Xiao Yan used a half-colored Buddha's anger lotus to consume a lot of vindictive qi, but at this time, he couldn't care about anything else, and the ancient ruler of different fire rolled over in his hand, which suddenly turned into a stream of light, and shot directly at Feng Jie. At this time, Feng Jie was as if the lamp was running out of oil. Any ordinary attack could easily obliterate him. Squeak. With a sound, Xiao Yan came to Feng Jie, with a terrifying flame fluctuation. He slashed at him, but when he was about to slash above his body, he was instantly intercepted by a strange figure. Haha. Nice guy. Chuo Xin Mao Da Chi novel Zhang, WW. With the 4-star Do Xian early stage, the entire Qingyun pavilion was completely destroyed, which is really beyond my expectations. A surprised voice appeared slowly, and the void around Feng Jie, who was dying, began to wriggle, and after a while, the void emerged from the void. A handsome man stepped out of it and suddenly appeared in front of Feng Jie. Lingyu. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's pupils shrank tightly, and the dazzling killing intent became even more surging. The person in front of him is the so-called true genius of the Earth Court, Lingyu, a 4-star Do Xian with complete strength and a half-field power, and is also the mastermind behind the capture of Xiao Gui. Your name is Xiao Yan, right? Lingyu just appeared. He glanced at Feng Jie, who was like a dead dog behind him, and smiled. When Xiao Yan attacked just now, Lingyu was always in the dark, so even if it was Xiao Yan's power in the early stage of 4-star Do Xian, Lingyu would not underestimate him in the slightest. What your brother Xiao Gui has done has indeed exceeded my bottom line, so you must pay for it. When the last word fell, this dismal green mountain peak, which had been destroyed by Xiao Yanfo's wrathful lotus, was in the middle of nowhere. Has changed. Crash. As soon as Lingyu's voice fell, the overwhelming black aura suddenly spread out around it, and this black aura was different from the gloomy ghost energy, but was similar to the evil power of the evil race from outside the realm. With the existence of these powers, everything that happens in this Qingshan peak will be blocked. A powerhouse as strong as a 4-star Do Xian perfection level is actually a lackey of a foreign evil clan. Seeing this, the Green Mountain Peak was instantly filled with black energy, and he immediately noticed everything inside, and was completely struck by the black energy. Cut off, the few of them at this time are tantamount to being imprisoned in the realm of darkness. Don't worry, kid, I'm not on the same level as them. Next, I will treat you well. Seeing this, Lingyu suddenly sneered. Peefed. With a sound, the dying Feng Jie was directly swallowed by Lingyu without any struggle. At the same time, Lingyu's strength seemed to have improved a lot. Little guy, be careful, this guy's aura is not quite right. After a while, even with the sophistication of the Soul Eater, he couldn't help but say, obviously there is something in Lingyu that makes the Soul Eater even. A strange smell exists. With the experience of the Master of Soul Eater, almost all of the powerhouses of the 36 royal clans among the foreign evil clans have heard of it, but now they are good at using the power of this black enchantment, and the Master of Soul Eater did not know the specifics for a while. Who is it? You have not only holy flame in your body, but also some interesting things. It just so happens that I also have it. Why don't they come out and fight each other? After Shunshi, Lingyu looked at Xiao indifferently. Yan, a burst of arrogance filled his heart. Teacher. Xiao Yan hesitated when Lingyu said it. Peefed, puff. In an instant, circles of black aura permeated the surface of Xiao Yan's body, but this black aura was extremely strange. It seemed to contain the power to devour all things, and there was a faint hint of black energy on it. Fuzzy ancient lines emerged. This fluctuation is. Suddenly, a very eerie voice came out of Lingyu's body. What's wrong? Lingyu couldn't help but ask when he noticed the strong vibration of the breath in his body. It's nothing. You will kill Xiao Yan as soon as possible. This guy is a bit tricky. The mysterious power hidden in Lingyu warned vigilantly. Do it. After a few breaths, Xiao Yan couldn't help but say, looking at Lingyu who was standing still, and immediately started to do it. Now that the Lord of Soul Eater has emerged, although Lingyu can't guess who he is sacred for a while, but with the passage of time and the more and more fights, the identity of the Lord of Soul Eater will be revealed sooner or later. Matter. And whether it's public or private hatred, this Lingyu must die. Sir, let's do it. Aware that Xiao Yan and his extremely mysterious light group burst out with terrifying power at the same time, Lingyu couldn't help but said, I don't know why, the mysterious black light group seemed to be full of enough to easily obliterate their own volatility. Shabu shabu. The next moment, in Lingyu's body, a group of light flickering suddenly fell off, and immediately attacked him directly. The Lord of Soul Eater dealt with the mysterious light group in Lingyu's body, and Xiao Yan dealt with Lingyu. I am afraid that this time, in this special area of the realm of darkness, the pattern of the Earth Spirit Academy will be completely rewritten. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1596. What happened? What is the power that suddenly emerged? Our soul power exploration has been blocked. After Shun breath, the old ghost outside Qingshan couldn't help frowning. It seems that they used some rather tyrannical means. When Headmaster Luo heard the words, he slowly shook his head. Obviously, Xiao Yan and the guys from Qingshan Peak were not ordinary people. But even so, the half-colored Buddha's furious fire lotus that Xiao Yan had just displayed suddenly refreshed their cognition. You must know that the late-stage powerhouses as strong as the 4-star Do Xian have completely fallen to the ground. I am afraid that the intensity of the attack they face will be even more surging. Let's just wait and see. Our dean and some of the headmasters in the grounds are also closely watching this place. If anything goes wrong, I'm afraid they will take action immediately. After Shun Qi, the place returned to calm. And here is also being watched by many bigwigs in the Earth Spirit Academy. Obviously, at this moment, Qingshan Peak has become the focus. Inside the Qingshan Peak, which is surrounded by the realm of darkness. Little chops, the holy flame is just wasted on you, give it to me. Only a genius like me can exert its greatest power. Lingyu's face was hideous, a dazzling flame suddenly emerged from his body, and immediately shot at Xiao Yan at a very fast speed. You are dreaming. Swallowing flame technique. Xiao Yan snorted coldly, and directly displayed the flame-swallowing technique. 4-star Do Xian Peak late stage? Seeing Xiao Yan's sudden surge in strength in front of him, Lingyu was sluggish for a while. Obviously, even with his experience, he had never seen fighting skills of this level before. The greed in my heart could not help but become a little thicker. Tian Yuan Ming Fire Palm. With a loud shout, Lingyu didn't hold back. The dazzling flame energy in his body was like a tide, with a dazzling fire attribute grudge, directly facing Xiao Yan's direction, blasting a huge energy. Handprint. Bang bang bang. Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't have time to defend himself because he had just finished using the swallowing flame technique, so he could only rely on the body of the first transformation of the dragon god and his own resistance to flames, trying to forcefully attack the flames. Next, but this seemingly simple blow actually made Xiao Yan's skin open. Boom! Even if Xiao Yan was armed with the great seed of flame and the holy flame, the damage of the flame power to him was greatly weakened, but when Lingyu was hit by such a thick palm, he immediately took a few steps back. Hold your figure. This guy's strength is too tyrannical, and he hasn't used his domain yet. Xiao Yan just avoided Lingyu's blow and immediately moved while thinking quickly. Xiao Yan, you know that you are just like a mouse running around with its head wrapped around its head. Lingyu couldn't help laughing when he saw Xiao Yan's appearance, but his vigilance towards Xiao Yan was not slackening. The seal of the Heavenly King. After a few breaths, Xiao Yan stopped moving suddenly, and with the help of the rock behind him, Xiao Yan suddenly stared, and with the help of the dazzling impact, at the same time, on the palm of his hand, a blanket of earth, the golden palm print surrounded by yellow flames, covered with countless tyrannical fluctuations, quietly emerged. What is this? Although Lingyu was proud, he was always vigilant against Xiao Yan, so when Xiao Yan just moved, he discovered such a strange scene of Xiao Yan. Heavenly Mars curtain. Looking at Xiao Yan's aura like broken bamboo, Lingyu waved his hand. A dazzling flame emerged from his body, and then formed a huge flame curtain of 500 feet around him to protect himself. Bang bang bang. Xiao Yan ignored it, and the seal of the Heavenly King was pushed out in an instant, and immediately smashed 3 huge flame screens in succession, and the speed just slowed down. Zheng Xin Lu Mao Chi Chi Novel Wang. WW. Break it for me. With a cold snort, the dazzling energy of the Heavenly King's seal suddenly burst out. At that time, the 4th giant flame of flame shattered. It's breaking. Xiao Yan snorted coldly, the blue veins on his palm bulged, and a thick bloodshot filled his pupils. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network, Ptth2. After the breath, as the last giant flame of flame hit Lingyu without a trace, the battle circle they were in was also blocked by waves of energy ripples, and the sky exploded and resounded. Another place. You really are also a soul body. A cold sneer came out of the evil light. Ha ha ha, it's just a little nameless guy. If it wasn't for the poor state of the master today, killing you would only take a blink of an eye, and you would be wiped out. The Lord of Soul Eater laughed with the power of black devouring. My lord, it seems that this time, a strong person with good strength has been found, just to obliterate your soul body and honor my king. My name, the 7th criminal under Sin, the Demon Emperor Siye. The majestic voice slowly emerged from the dim light with an unruly power. The crime guard and the crime envoy. Is the crime minister next? A 6-star fighting immortal level sinner? The soul eater sneered when he heard the words. You actually know our Sin, he exclaimed in the dim light when he noticed the sound coming from the black light group. It's just a worm serving the evil race outside the territory. There are not a few sinners who just fell into my hands. The Lord of Soul Eater sneered, but the Lord of Soul Eater is clear that the rank differentiation among sins is extremely obvious. Only the strength only if you have enough or make a contact contribution. Will you be given evil power by the evil tribes outside the territory, and the strength of the 7th Sin Division, among the sins, is probably enough to rank in the top 10. After all, among the sins, there are countless believers and sin guards, and the sinners are in charge of these subordinates, the 8 major sins, and they manage their own sins. Even above the 8 major sins, there are sin officers. In control of people, even if it is the Lord of Soul Eater, he does not know who is in control of sin. It seems that Lingyu didn't do much harm to the world, and he was actually given the power of the source directly by the 7th Crime Division. Forget it, Ni-Ur and the others are almost here, just taking advantage of this time to hone this little guy. The voice of the Lord of Soul Eater just fell, and suddenly the dazzling power of devouring appeared all over his body, directly attacking the 7th Sin Division. Sin, the 8 Great Sins Division, the weakest among them, also has the strength comparable to the power of the human 5-star fighting immortals, and the 7th Sin Division, named Dark Knight Devil Emperor, is a terrifying existence that controls the power of monstrous killing. The strength has reached the level of 6-star fighting immortals, but although the Lord of Soul Eater is not at the peak, it is obviously easy to deal with this kind of guy. Boom! This guy is such a tyrannical force. On the other side, Xiao Yan has been dealing with Lingyu, but even though Xiao Yan used the swallowing technique and the first transformation of the dragon god, he never left any injuries on Lingyu. Instead, Xiao Yan was already scarred. It can't be dragged on like this, it must be resolved quickly. Xiao Yan said solemnly, looking at Lingyu, who appeared in the sky with many phantoms due to his extremely fast speed. Boom! The next moment, Xiao Yan's body, the spiritual palace, shook violently, and then a tyrannical wave filled the air quietly. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1597. This guy. What do you want to do? Seeing this, Lingyu's dark eyes became very vigilant, obviously thinking that Xiao Yan wanted to use the half-colored fire lotus of destruction again. The Buddha's fury fire lotus should not be able to be used. Although I just merged a holy flame and a great heavenly seed, but with Lingyu's vigilance, he should not give me a chance. So now, we can only try that method. Xiao Yan gritted his teeth, his eyes fixed on Lingyu in front of him, and the steady stream of soul power immediately emerged from the spiritual palace in his body. Xiao Yan won't be allowed to do this, so you chasers, the scene is quite chaotic. In the other place, the dim light group and the black light group kept moving, but as time went by, it was obviously the dim light group that fell into the disadvantage. Susu. This old immortal guy has such a strange power. No matter how tyrannical my power is, it will be swallowed up in an instant. I am afraid that this strange power is only possessed by a few people in the entire world. Is this guy? Is that the Almighty? The Demon Emperor Siye in the dim light group fled the runway while dodging the attack of the Soul Eater. Chi-Chi's novels are first published on the whole network. Each of the 8 sinners has extremely terrifying power, and even has the power of the origin of the king of the evil tribe outside the territory, but this power of origin can only exert 1/3 of its own strength at best, so it is impossible to use 1/3 of the Demon Emperor's size power to deal with the now seriously injured Soul Eater Lord. After all, even if the Soul Eater Lord was seriously injured, his strength during his lifetime had reached the point of penetrating the profound. Master of Soul Eater? Suddenly, a surprised look filled the dim light, and he said, "Is it still discovered? The chain of devouring." The Soul Eater in the black light group heard the words, muttered to himself, and immediately gave an order. The weak black swallowing power all over his body turned into an arm-sized black devil in the blink of an eye. Chains are suspended around the light mass. The black magic chain is about the size of an arm, but its whole body is filled with a strong force of devouring, and even on the force of devouring, countless complex and ancient runes quietly permeate. With the appearance of this action, this piece of In the Realm of Darkness, there was an extremely disturbing fluctuation. It's actually the Lord of Devouring. Bastard. Looking at this scene, the 7th Sin Division, the Demon Emperor Siye couldn't help but let out a loud cry, and a dazzling light emerged from his body, directly protecting himself. Go! After the rest, the black magic chain that was quietly suspended outside the black light group of the Soul Eater swayed gently, and then it returned slowly like a fallen leaf. Boom! It seemed like a bland attack, but all the space it passed along the way collapsed, and even when it was close to Demon Emperor's size body, countless small vortexes suddenly filled out. The fastest update of Chi-Chi novel at this moment, the sky and the earth turned pale, and even the space that enveloped the realm of darkness became unstable and would explode at any time. What? What is this fluctuation? In addition, deep in the distant Earth Spirit Court. This is a quite beautiful space. The space is located in a bamboo forest. The hut in the forest and the flow of the stream are quite pleasant. You've been restless today, what's the matter? Outside the door of the hut in the woods, in a pavilion, a middle-aged woman came slowly with tea, and immediately asked the man in front of her with kind eyes. There is a disciple with holy flame in our spiritual courtyard. The man smiled at him, and then he talked about it. In that case, the day when our spiritual academy will become stronger is just around the corner. The woman was quite happy when she heard the words, and smiled sweetly. It's just that the fluctuations that broke out in the battle center today are a little wrong. After a while, the handsome man opened his mouth. That wave doesn't look like the wave in our great thousand world. I'll go out and take good care of my home. As soon as he finished speaking, the handsome man's body trembled and disappeared easily, but the wave that appeared all over his body was more than ordinary 6-star fighting immortals, and even 7-star fighting immortals are more powerful, and since this is the most mysterious place in the spiritual courtyard, the identities of these two are self-evident. It's the trouble caused by the acacia tree and the vassal forces of Lingyu. The woman shook her head slightly when she heard the words, so the place returned to calm. In the realm of darkness. Xiao Gui, wait for me. Just as the battle between the two sides was slowly progressing, a figure slowly bypassed the four of them and stretched out towards the already unrecognizable Qingshan Peak to imprison Xiao Gui. Out of the water prison. This Qianying was enveloped by a strange gray light, and with this gray light, the power of darkness in this dark world, and even those evil auras, were repelled and purified by it. This person is Luo Menglan. When the realm of darkness was completely formed, she barely squeezed in here. At this time, there were only these four people in Qingshan Peak. All the other Qingyun Pavilion disciples fell to Xiaoyan's half-colored Buddha's anger and fire lotus. During the tense battle between the four of them, Luo Menglan was naturally not found. What a surging soul power! Seeing this, Lingyu couldn't help taking a breath. Obviously, the soul power that Xiaoyan had gathered at this time was enough to endanger himself. It goes on like this, there's no other way. After Shunshi, Duo glanced at the two who were fighting in the high sky. Lingyu found that the tyrannical demon emperor Siye was at a disadvantage. WWW. Novel MTL. This made Lingyu have to pay attention. Crash. After a period of deliberation, Xiaoyan's whole body has been wrapped in countless soul powers, and these soul powers are enough to easily obliterate the powerhouses in the middle stage of 4-star fighting immortals. The time for swallowing flames is almost here. This time, let's fight it out. The next moment, Xiaoyan made a decision in his heart. His pupils slowly closed. The already depleted spirit palace in his body and the two in Xiaoyan's Do Qi Si Sheng Yanjing became surging, and unspeakable terrifying forces came quietly. Xiaoyan, the last blow. Lingyu looked at Xiaoyan's actions, and immediately shouted. The dazzling flame power in his body also permeated, but the flame showed a dim light color. Obviously not only in the flame only the power of the fire element great heavenly seed was added, and even the evil power of the evil race from outside the territory was added. The Eye of Gaze is a fighting technique aimed at the interference of the soul. I have also experimented before. Adding the power of Huoxin Tianyan is enough to achieve the double damage of the power of the soul and the body. This time, with the soul interference fighting skills and the two holy flames, I hope you won't let me down. Xiaoyan murmured slightly, and the soul power that was urging all over his body was suddenly compressed by Xiaoyan. After a while, two pure pupils slowly floated above Xiaoyan's head, and the pupils were filled with extremely tyrannical soul power. Soul attack. Xiaoyan, it's over. San Yuan Town Demon Pillar. A wild laughter burst forth, and immediately around Lingyu's body, 3 dimly colored beams of light with a size of 100 meters permeated suddenly. The 3 magic town pillars just appeared, and suddenly this space was filled with extremely uneasy fluctuations, as if it would be shattered by Lingyu's attack at any time. The attack displayed by the 4-star Dushan perfection level powerhouse is so terrifying. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1598. Boom! Above the 3 shocking magic pillars, countless tyrannical imprisoned and sealed powers were their predecessors, and they quickly attacked Xiaoyan. Damn, it's still a little short. After a while, 2 flames quietly permeated above Xiaoyan's head, but now the 2 holy flames and the eyes of staring are still fighting each other, and they have not merged. The Kaki? Cyan? Or Duo Shengen? How is that possible? At this time, Lingyu, who had won the ticket, shrank his pupils tightly and lost his voice. With his perception, he could easily know what kind of terrifying power it contained. If it doesn't melt at this time, when will it wait? Give me a fusion. Just when the 3 demon-suppressing pillars came to Xiaoyan's body 100 meters, Xiaoyan's voice was like a touch of thunder, his pupils suddenly opened, and he shouted. Xiaoyan had been neutralizing and mediating the power of Holy Flame before. After all, the power of Holy Flame was too extreme and its destructive power was too strong. Once it was easily merged into the Eye of Gaze, it would only end in failure. The next moment, as Xiaoyan opened his mouth, the 2 flames were like elves, the violent aura was completely purified, and immediately fell into the 2 pure pupils. Emerged quietly. Look at the Holy Flame pupil. With a loud shout, 2 strange pupils flashing with khaki fire and cyan flame, slowly crossed the sky, and attacked the 3 incomparably huge anti-magic pillars. Boom! As soon as the 2 touched, fierce sparks shot out, and immediately in this already embarrassed space, Yu Du was hit hard by the attack of the 2. This guy is really beyond my expectations. Seeing this, the Soul Eater, who was suppressing the Demon Emperor Siye everywhere in the sky, couldn't help laughing. Obviously, this guy Xiao Yan has both his temperament and talent. It is the best choice, and it is not impossible to cultivate it well in the future and become the next generation of Soul Eater. That's 2? Luo Menglin had already come to the top of the water prison at this time, watching the sky staring at the holy flame pupil and the 3 town magic pillars intertwined. The gray light in the body suddenly became strange, as if dignity was provoked, trying to compete with it. Bang bang bang. The hot flames scattered with indescribable terrifying power, and at this time, one of the 3 demon-suppressing pillars had collapsed, leaving only 2 remaining. This kid, as Lord Siye said, is a terrifying enemy of foreign evil clan and sin. So this time, I can't stay. At this moment, the dazzling power of Lingyu's whole body was injected into the remaining 2 magic pillars, but under that foot, a wave of red waves slowly spread out like a tide. Like the taste of the field. Boom! Break it to me! Xiao Yan's pupils shrank tightly, and the dazzling fighting spirit supported the transmission of Shengen. With the addition of soul power, staring at Shengen's pupils stood in an invincible position, not to mention 2 holy flame was added to the soul interference fighting technique, and that kind of power increased exponentially. Boom boom boom! Suddenly, a deafening explosion sounded, and the 2 demon-suppressing pillars were also completely shattered, and the light staring at the holy flame pupil was dim, but its power was not diminished, and it was still blasting at the void where Lingyu was located. Shoot away! There is no need to doubt. If such a dazzling power really hits Lingyu, I am afraid that he will have to peel off his skin even if he doesn't die. I have to admit that you are very strong, but I have encountered the most difficult one among the 4-star fighting immortals. However, do you know why I, Lingyu, are the only geniuses in the Earth Spirit Academy throughout the ages? Noticing the scorching heat, Lingyu didn't feel any panic. Instead he looked at Xiao calmly. Yan said, Zheng Xin Lu Mao Chi Chi Novel Wang, WW, what is this fluctuation? After Xiao Yan stared at Sheng Yan Tong, the aura in his body weakened for a while. After adding the flame-swallowing technique and the first transformation of the dragon god, the time reached the limit, and now Xiao Yan is only in a weak state. The 4-star Dushan early-stage powerhouse. Let's see. What real power is? What is the real field? And what is the first genius of the underground courtyard? Seeing Xiao Yan's appearance, Lingyu couldn't help laughing. Hey! As Lingyu's voice just fell, the fiery red energy immediately enveloped the 2 bodies like a tidal wave. Domain. Xiao Yan's pupils shrank tightly and lost his voice. The power of the domain, re-engraved. In an instant, with the formation of this red domain, Lingyu suddenly burst out laughing. Shabu shabu. Lingyu's voice just fell, and suddenly in the red domain, countless red flames suddenly emerged from the bottom of the domain, and then slowly shot towards Lingyu's side. What power is this? The power of the domain? Xiao Yan felt incredible when he heard the words, but when this domain first appeared, Xiao Yan's strength was clearly suppressed to the half-step 4-star Do Xian level, and even the flame power in his body was suppressed not small, enough to see tyranny in this field. The fastest update of Chi-Chi novel, Zhu. Countless fiery red flames gathered around Lingyu, and Xiao Yan staring at Sheng Yan Tong also came to him at this time, and the terrifying destructive power was about to explode. Crash! But a strange scene appeared. Just as Sheng Yan Tong was about to explode in front of Lingyu, he was suddenly entangled by the fiery red flame, and immediately lost his attack power. Gotcha! With a sound, the fiery red flame was flickering, and the staring holy flame pupil, which was enough to kill Lingyu, lost all power and turned into 2 rather calm pupils, which suddenly shattered in the next moment. How is it possible? Xiao Yan swallowed the pill to recover his vindictive energy, and stared at this sudden scene, unable to help but lose his voice. This staring at the holy flame is full of his own soul power and the power of 2 holy flames. How could it be wiped out by a guy with the power of an alien race? Susu. The power of Fire Heart Tianyan and Ghost Face Soul Flame. You are really amazing. If that's the case, then I'll accept it all without hesitation. Ha ha ha. Crazy laughter filled the entire fiery red domain, and at this time, the fiery red flame that had been born in the domain was also shaking slowly, dancing like a female family member. Terrifying things are about to be born. Back to you. The re-engraved version of staring at Saint Flame eyes. After a few breaths, the fiery red flames dissipated abruptly, but in front of Lingyu, two strange pupils, also flashing with khaki flames and cyan flames, quietly appeared. Guru. Xiao Yan swallowed his saliva with difficulty, and immediately a strong crisis emerged. This Lingyu is as strong as the 4-star Do Xian perfection level, and he has the power to recreate the domain in the domain, but it is rude to say that this guy is definitely the most tyrannical existence Xiao Yan has encountered so far. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1599. Damn, what kind of power is this? Looking at Lingyu, who was aloof, with a dominance-like attitude, and looking at the complex version of the gaze pupil beside him, Xiao Yan's heart was filled with horror. At this time, the eyes of staring at Lingyu's side are also full of the power of the extremely bright two holy flames, but the power of the holy flames is extremely weak, and some evil powers have been added by them, so the 4-star fighting immortal perfection level with his strength displayed, it was naturally an overwhelming victory against Xiao Yan, who was in the weak state of the 4-star Do Xian early stage. Little chops. Forcing all my cards out is worthy of your title as the Master of Saint Flame. However, this time, it's time to end. Lingyu's palm shook slowly, and the replica version of the staring holy flame pupil was grasped on the palm of his hand, and he said grimly, Zheng Xin Lu Mao Chi Chi Novel Wang, WW, next, I am afraid that only the power of the clan mark and the battle formation master. Suddenly, aware of the extremely dazzling power in the Lingyu domain, Xiao Yan muttered to himself. It's almost over, but this little guy? I hope this Lingyu can force his potential out. The Soul Eater, who was located high in the sky, pierced through Lingyu's domain and saw Xiao Yan, who was in trouble. Laughed. Xiao Yan has many treasures on his body, such as spiritual power, clan marks, and soul power, etc., and only through the crisis of life and death can he be completely forced out. Go to hell! A cold snort sounded like a thunderbolt, bursting directly at Xiao Yan with an unstoppable aura of destruction. You want to kill me just because of this? Idiot, talking about a dream. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's pupils shrank tightly, and the khaki-colored fire heart heavenly rock and the blue-colored ghost-face soul flames filled out at the same time. I don't know why you were able to have two holy flames, but the strength of the mere 4-star fighting immortal early stage is not enough, so, it is over. As soon as the words fell, the duplicate version of staring at holy flames came directly to Xiao Yan. About to explode. Hold me up. Xiao Yan didn't have time to make any unnecessary movements at this time. The power of the two holy flames was combined with soul power and spiritual power, and they were directly displayed, and they met the replica staring at the holy flame pupil. Boom! Wave after wave of destruction ripples spread out in Lingyu domain. At that time, Lingyu domain was completely destroyed by this terrifying explosion. Cough cough. Reluctantly resisting the copy version of staring Sheng Yantong, a big hand of black energy slapped Xiao Yan's body with a slap, and Xiao Yan's body couldn't help being slapped with several scars. 4-star Do Xian is still too weak in the early stage. I will always be your invincible genius, if you want to beat me, unless. There are two Xiao Yan. Su. The gloomy voice sounded like the victor was reading a declaration of victory. Two Xiao Yan? Xiao Yan muttered with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth because he was attacked one after another by Lingyu. It's over, the last blow. Send you to hell, Tianming tearing the devil's hand. A roar. At that time, Lingyu's whole body was completely replaced by an incomparably evil black aura, and an evil giant hand with a size of 100 feet, carrying a monstrous hand to the sky. Evil power suddenly appeared in this void, even in the void, filled with endless screams. It's just two Xiao Yan. Who said we don't have any? After the breath, a gray-white light appeared in Xiao Yan's body, and a tyrannical light burst out from Xiao Yan's body immediately, with a touch of terror. The fluctuations permeated this world. How is that possible? Lingyu couldn't help but say when he saw this, because with his perception, the power contained in this white glow, the spirit has the terrifying fluctuations that destroy him. I am you, and you are me, no matter when, we are one. So let this guy see our true strength. Xiao Lei finished speaking, dazzling thunders appeared all over his body, Among those thunders, there is no lack of some Thunder Master's gray source power, and even a lot of tyrannical power, and after a while, all of them are irrigated towards Xiaoyan's body. Boom! With Xiao Lei appearing, and after all his power was injected into Xiaoyan's body, Xiaoyan suddenly felt that his power had recovered from a weak state in an instant, and even the power of thunder that filled his body, in a violent and unbridled manner, it is like anger at Lingyu tilting them. The power of thunder, the king of heaven and earth. The power of flame, Purgatory Yama. If that's the case, let's end it with one blow. Seeing Lingyu's tyrannical attack, Xiaoyan also smiled slowly. After a while, his body suddenly lifted into the air, his hands slowly opened, and the other held the incomparably bright flame Do Qi. The other hand is holding the tyrannical power of thunder. Whether the energies of the thunder attribute and fire attribute can rely on the neutralization of the burning decision and the soul power to display something different, a crazy idea formed in Xiaoyan's heart. This guy, crazy, fall for me. A roar emerged from Lingyu's mouth, and the evil magic hand, with monstrous evil power, blasted towards Xiaoyan. Whoa! Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt! Flame Do Qi and Thunder Do Qi just appeared, and the two suddenly became like fire and water, bursting with extremely tyrannical resistance, but under Xiaoyan's continuous suppression, they began to slowly merge. Zhu! After a few breaths, the power of thunder and the power of flame slowly merged. Suddenly, in front of Xiaoyan's body, a huge creature like a guardian suddenly appeared. Thunder, fire, hell, destroy me bar. Not long after, the guardian in front of him was full of energy giants with flames and thunder, and set foot in this piece of heaven and earth. On the body of Thunder Fire Hell King, Xiaoyan has also added the power of 2 holy flames, so this level of attack has devastating power for Lingyu, who has the power of foreign evil clan. Boom! Lehuo Hades trampled over and was easily attacked by the evil devil hand, but the seemingly tyrannical evil devil did not struggle too much, and was completely beheaded by Thunderfire Hades. Bang bang bang! The black evil forces were constantly being decomposed by the Thunderfire Hell King, and even that Lingyu was in a state of retreat. How is that possible? Seeing that his most proud attack was so unbearable in the hands of a mere 4-star Do Xian early stage guy, Lingyu's eyes couldn't help but become solemn. Crash! The dazzling battle was completely over, and in this void, Zaidu regained its calm, but the huge body of the Thunderfire King was still guarding Xiaoyan, as if he was the guardian of the most loyal minister. General. Peefed! With a sound, his attack was broken, and a mouthful of black blood spurted out from the corner of Lingyu's mouth. It's better to go first. After a while, without any hesitation, Lingyu turned into a streamer and was ready to escape from here. The fastest update of Qiqi novel, do you still want to run? Saint Flame kills evil, let's fall completely. Xiaoyan naturally wouldn't give Lingyu such a chance. 2 holy flames shot at the same time and directly wrapped Lingyu. Xiaoyan, if you kill me, the court has decided not to let you go. Lingyu became afraid when he noticed Xiaoyan's dazzling killing intent. This Xiaoyan was definitely the first time in his life that he had met him. To such a fearless guy. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.